Perfect. That step before. Oh, cut out tube. So many things you start, and I like, oh, phone. Mm, no, no. Hmm. Really not. Eat the microphone. Do I have to eat it? I might have to eat the microphone. It has the audio side of it has been scratchy recently. I don't know how else to describe. When you're wearing headphones and there's like a scratchy noise in the headphones. That's been happening, but and now it's like probably super loud microphone. So it might be getting old, the wire getting bent out of shape, attacked by cats one too many times. Yeah, roll the chair over it one too many times. So it could be any of those. But hopefully it's at least louder now that I am eating the microphone. But not too loud. I guess let me know. I don't really know what else I'm going to do, but let me know. I guess I could change the audio input to the camera. It's not ideal, but it might be better than this. Anyway, yeah, I'm learning a lot of things about this, running a podcast, which I just never really thought I would do. So yeah, I need to edit out the first minute or so of the video when I'm letting ads run, for example. Oh, I can scratch that. Lift off. Now I'm just looking at my to-do list instead of paying attention. But yeah, I need to figure out my workflow for the podcast. That'll probably be a today project. I have a reason to have an extension lead in my headset cable. Yeah, that would be cheaper than replacing the whole headphone. And I, not being a techie person, kind of tend to underestimate how that happens. To me, I'm like, it's fine, it's safe, it's a cable. It can put up with things. I don't really think about how bendy and sensitive metal can be. But here we go. I hope you all are having a good week. A nice weekend. Good week. I've been busy, but it's been good, I think. I think I am trying to focus more on activities that, while still productive, I enjoy more. So it helps. And there's so much news happening that it's good. Not necessarily the news is good. I'm going to get very philosophical today. But it keeps me busy. Your day is going well, conquering the world, writing code to conquer the world. Yeah, speaking of. That does what it what it feels like, right? Because it's one of the big topics. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk so much about AI right now because that's what everybody wants to talk about, and that's all about code taking over the world. So it's also finally fall here, so I'm kind of chilly this morning. Um, like 80. It was almost 90 on Saturday, and now it's like 60, which in Celsius, I don't know what that is. Um, but 30 degrees difference in Fahrenheit is not insignificant. Okay. So, what is Agentic Commerce Protocol? Because that's a big thing that ChatGPT announced last week. Oh, yeah. So 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So Celsius is like 0 to 100, right? Freezing to boiling. So 60 would be... No, nothing. Can't do it. Can't mental math this one. I'm like trying to estimate, like, okay, so Fahrenheit's like a 250 degree scale. So if I... No, just let it go. All right, so Agentic Commerce Protocol is 15 degrees Celsius. Okay. So much lower than I would have thought. But perfect. Thank you. So you're a good bot, and this is a good bot. Um, simple references, crunching data. I think that is a great use of robots and AI. And I always want to kind of preference these AI conversations with... I say I don't use AI, but that's not true. Everybody uses artificial intelligence. Computers are really useful for lots of things. So I always feel like I have to kind of put some parameters, like, I don't hate computers. I don't hate the internet and technology, generally speaking. Oh man, I really am eating the microphone. Okay. I don't really like agentic AI or generative AI. Um, Again, within reason, there are use cases, there are industries where it would make sense. But I don't generally like it as everybody has access to this. So Agentic Commerce Protocol is a new integration in ChatGPT. It rolled out last week. At least I'm pretty sure. That lets you buy suggested items directly from ChatGPT. And I know it has Stripe is the one that's powering it, and it has integrations with Shopify and Etsy, and maybe one other. It just kind of cracks me up in the information about it, where it's like data sharing is minimal. It's like you still have to give your name, your address, and your payment information. Like, what other data do you care about? Yeah, and yeah. So Ross says, why bother with advertising when you can just trick agentic AIs into buying things? And there is also this point where, like, at what point are we going to try to get computers to have other computers buying from it. In this version, this version, um, the user is there giving consent to every step. So, that's better. That's not honestly that different from buying online anywhere else. As much as I give it a hard time using ChatGPT versus using a storefront on WordPress or Amazon or whatever, not that different. But what happens when you being the consumer, start using your own agentic AI to do more for you? Because there are browsers that are AI based right now. Comet just came out. I think that's Perplexity. There are probably other examples. I'm not an expert on that. But where you tell your AI what you want it to do for you, and it just takes care of it. So it's like, well, if you're telling the computer to go order your groceries for you, then it's just the computer's grocery store telling the computer you to buy things, and it's all very sci-fi and weird. All right, that's what I was saying here. In Detroit Become Human, I always meant to play that. Haven't gotten to it yet. Kara, an Android domestic assistant, is able to buy replacement parts for household appliances completely autonomously. Is perfectly reasonable so long as you're 100% sure that the AI has your best interests at heart. Yeah, exactly. And we all, want computers to be morally neutral, and they are. But that doesn't mean that the companies behind them are morally neutral. And the people behind other businesses aren't morally neutral. So again, yeah, you don't have to use advertising because you just need to use better coding to tell the computer that you should buy this product, and then the computer will buy that product. And it might have your best interests at heart, but the coding for the company that got you to buy something probably doesn't have your best interests at heart. Maybe they do. But there are a lot of what ifs in these scenarios. And I feel this is just me, and this is what every time I get into these conversations, I just feel like it's not a place where we as a society need to be. Like, I just don't think it's smart. Because, yeah, the computer is morally neutral, the telephones are morally neutral, and you can even make the case that generative AI is morally neutral, agentic AI is morally neutral. There are a lot of people dumping a lot of money into getting these things to work a certain way. And people are not morally neutral. They are just not. And me as a marketer, I try to help the companies that are morally good get more visibility because somebody needs to. If this stuff is going on, word people need to be out there. Yeah, we're getting very philosophical today. I think I have. I think I got Detroit Become Human through the PlayStation Plus membership. So I think if I reactivate my membership, I can get that and play that. So maybe in a couple years I will. That would be fun. I say a couple years because that's the reality of my time right now. Speaking of morally, I don't know. I don't even know. Parental controls. Whoa, that was weird. Huh, okay. It looks fine on this screen. It just does not look fine on my screen. That's strange. See, computers do weird things, and this isn't even AI. This is just Google Slides, and it's glitching, and okay. I actually really like this response for us. Parental controls are a good tool, but it should be the parents who have the control, right? Right now, it's like the company is saying, here are your 5 options. And that's your control. Which is, I mean, it's just a messy situation that society is in. Because on the one hand, like, yeah, kids should not have access to anything that AI can do. But that's just such a big issue, right? Like, kids have way too much access to technology generally, right? They have way too much access to smartphones, way too much access to laptops and the internet. There's too much technology in the school. I can go on. Like, I was a classics professor. You can teach Latin and Greek the same way that they taught it 2,000 years ago. And we should. All you need to do is memorize it. What is your problem? So, like, there's that whole issue. But then also, like, yeah, where is the line? Um, and AI is so not private, right? AI, at its very core of training, is the opposite of private. Um, Large learning models that played into generative AI, they are just constantly consuming and training on information, including the information that you put on it, in it, when you're using it. Which is a problem when people think of it as private. And so, like, should it all be private? Should none of it be private? And why is 18 the magic age? This is like, so for parental controls, it's things having to do with, material that minors shouldn't see, but also the potential for self-harm. And so I read through ChatGPT's statement about that and how, they'll notify the parent if there is information that seems like the child may commit harm, and that it might even reach out to professionals. I guess AI is a mandated reporter. I don't know. this this is the world we live in. And the point to that is, so when someone turns 18, they magically don't get protection anymore, right? If I am 21 and searching for things that could hurt me, is nobody gonna try to help just because I'm older? Especially because we live in an age where people are not maturing as quickly as they used to. 18-year-olds 100 years ago were going into world wars and starting families. 18-year-olds today are not. Yeah, I mean, they didn't necessarily mature. It's still a very individual choice, but I feel like life came at you fast. Back in the day. Life does not come at you quite as fast anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a jaded millennial. Um, and like I'm feeling very philosophical with today's news, but I don't really have any answers. I don't I don't know what the right path is. Right? I mean, nothing that you do on a computer is truly private. Um, there's that reality. Um, and I don't know if privacy is a good thing. I mean, within reason, certainly. Your neighbors don't need to know all of your business. But when did privacy become a right? And what level is privacy to be considered, a higher good? I don't know, right? I don't know. Right? I mean, I certainly don't like everybody being up in my business. I like being left alone. So I like my privacy. Um, but I just don't know. But then you think about how much time people spend online and how much help they need. And yeah, you don't know. The reason I even started to look into this for this week is in a networking group of mine. One of the participants is the chief financial officer for a mental health center, counseling center. And, he asked me, like, how can we get into ChatGPT, right? How can uh, you be visible in AI? And what does that kind of visibility look like for mental health institutions, right? Is it just a matter of when people ask, what are some therapists near me? Or is it, I am looking for problematic things? Maybe I start seeing more advertisement for counseling. That overreach? Is that the greater good? I don't I don't have the answer. Yeah, right? And, like, the same with, like, writers, because I hang out with a lot of writers. It's like you're always looking at things having to do with murder and fighting and poisons and, whatever, who knows? Um, so you I don't know, right? This is why, like, I don't know. I'm sure you can, Ross. Uh, I believe that you could talk about pretty much anything, and I mean that in a good way. So, but yeah, all that just got me again more deep thinking. I haven't necessarily found any profound responses. I'm not particularly good at that. I'm better at posing questions than I am finding answers. Probably the academic in me. But with AI agents, with relying on chatbots for things, it's really getting us even further. Yeah, that's true. Questions do tend to be easier. And maybe sometimes there aren't answers, right? Like sometimes there is no clear, like, yes, this is the path forward. Anyway, yeah, tell you. Ross, you're like the nicest person in the world, though. Uh, but anyway, the where we're at and where we are continuing to go with AI does concern me with mediated reality. Um, you guys are here in my chat, and I feel like our generation, maybe a generation or two after us, um, there's a little more balance. Obviously, it depends. This is um, general speaking, not specific examples. Um, but there's kind of a balance. Like we spend a lot of time online, and yeah, I wouldn't want to see Roz when there is no internet. Um, but there is still communication with real people. And I think that motivates a lot of our online. Younger generations, especially like the very young generations now, I don't know which one we're on. Z, A, B. Because let's see, I'm millennial and we're Y. So like Caroline would be Z. So yeah, we must be in like generation B or D. I don't even know. But like the very young babies. I almost said people born in the 2000s, but 2000 would actually still be an adult. So that's hilarious. Um, I worry about the scale tipping where digital relationships are more important than relationships with other humans. You're more interested in generational garbage collection? That just mean that you just deal with everybody's problems? Now, maybe my fear is unfounded, right? Um, I'm an introvert. There are plenty of times when I would rather communicate with a computer than with a human being, right? I'm going to check someone's website before I give them a phone call to ask them what their hours are. So, maybe I can't say anything. Maybe I'm just being a hypocrite. But like Generation Z, I think you're a millennial with me, Punch. Generation Z, uses AI as their primary search page. And again, just trying to find answers to things on the internet is not necessarily the problem. It is trying to get computers to do all of your stuff for you and to build a relationship with that digital being. Um, Now, granted, that relationship building I see from people of all generations. There are people, older than me with, I think, teenage children who, gave their chat GPT a name, and it's their personal assistant. Uh, I have some opinions on that. They are not good opinions. But what I'm trying to get here, though, as with many moral issues, many technologies, many genres, a mature person with a well-developed sense of self and boundaries can engage in, parasocial, artificial, digital relationships without harming themselves, without harming their development, right? Like, as I said, like this person's already married, has kids, uh, has a robust life. The fact that, this is a thing that happens, it's not probably going to hurt her. But will it hurt her children? Will it hurt younger people? Will it hurt 13-year-olds who start talking to ChatGPT instead of their parents, instead of a friend? Now, could also raise the point of, well, would you rather your 13-year-old turn to another preteen for advice or AI? Which one's worse? It depends on the 13-year-old. I mean, AI was essentially trained on 13-year-olds, because internet. So, yeah, I don't know. But it's certainly important to make sure that we all take breaks from technology, we all see real people, we all eat food. Um, yeah, there's an issue with the agentic AI. You want the computer to shop for you, it would get me nothing but fast food. I'm 100% sure, and I would be happy, and I would be so unhealthy. Let me see if there's any. Been a lot of discussion, so I'm just skimming through. Is our counting, is that probably what I think it is? Just a Reddit of counting? Because that sounds like where my 3-year-old would like to be. Just saying. Ugh. Okay. So that was a lot of my concerns with AI and where AI currently is. I am still working on what to do with these gut reactions because right now it is so very much a gut reaction of like, there's something wrong with this. And it's not any one particular, thing that I can put my finger on, but there's just something not right. And as the responsible adults in the room, if we don't raise the questions, then nobody will. Because I do philosophy, so. And I am apparently obsessed with human nature and what is the purpose of um, a human life. Specifically, like, what does it mean to live your life well? This is what I am obsessed with thinking about, I guess. There's a kind interesting. But the last thing that I will say for this week is in doing all of this research, I read through ChatGPT's. Oh, hey, guys! Thanks for the raid. I'm about to wrap up here because that's how raids work, I swear. Like 9 times out of 10. But I read, OpenAI's mission statement. I was doing all this research. Ooh, Ghost Raid. Hey, peace. I hope your day off and your streaming went well. So, OpenAI's mission is to ensure that artificial general intelligence, AI, by which we mean highly autonomous systems that outperform humans at most economically valuable work, benefits all of humanity. Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT and AI is definitely getting smarter, but it's fun to kind of break it. So I read, right, about different ways that people kind of break it and confuse it and make it give them fake answers. Yeah, what this statement really upsets me is that it seems not just that it seems, impossible, too good to be true, but like it's working at cross purposes. So they want something that benefits all of humanity, but they also want it to be able to do better at humans at economically valuable work. What reality do we live in where and I know it doesn't say like we're going to replace humans in economically valuable work, but come on. Like, humans are dumb. Bless them. But they're dumb. And so they want to be able to do things faster and cheaper. Most of them. Most people want to do things that are faster and cheaper. So if you can use a computer to do economically valuable work for faster and cheaper, then you're going to use the computer and you're not going to use a human, and these things cannot coexist. Can't. You just can't, right? There's there is no middle ground. I'm sorry. There's not. Like, so are humans only going to do economically not valuable work? Like work that isn't important to the economy? Because that'll be bad. And so it misses, there's a lot in Catholicism, probably Christianity generally, um, that your work, like, is important. That doing work is good for you. Um, you know, we are all here. We have jobs. We have streams that we do. We like to create. Um, so humans need to do economically valuable work. So what is the purpose of creating autonomous systems that outperform humans? Like, seriously, what is the purpose? To benefit all of humanity. Not clear, right? Instructions unclear. Um, so yeah, I really call a lot of questions about this. And again, just questions at this point, not answers. Uh, because, I know that there are people who would like, oh, that's just alarmist behavior because there's always going to be work for people. People are going to have to make the computers that run AI and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, just let people do mundane jobs. What's wrong with that? And then you're also going to have the alarmist of like, AI is going to take over the world, which I tend to fall more in that category, but I try to not go like too extreme and remember what the positive use cases are because it is important. Have technology help us. Can do a lot of good, curing diseases, predicting storms, um, et cetera, et cetera. But like the Tower of Babel, Tower of Babel, it's a thing. Like, let's keep let's keep a focus here. And that's probably why I don't have the answers because at the end of the day, I'm not a very greedy person. Uh, at the end of the day, I don't want to very much. And so when I see a lot of these big picture things, I'm like, well, is that really important? They don't seem that important to me. But I can recognize there's a lot of big picture things, There are giant companies that hire a lot of people and, really support the economy. And that's important. So if these things help mega corporations keep more people employed, great. I don't know that I've seen evidence that that's happening, but that would be good. But just for like every small town day to day consumers, don't I don't know that I see the benefit. I mean, yes, the small business owners are like, "Oh yeah, no, I can do all this. I can do all this. I save so much time doing this." But how important were you really spending all of your time well? Or is this just a way to make you feel better about all the time that you waste? I don't know, right? I mean, I don't know. Certainly I waste a lot of time, and I'm someone who doesn't have any time. So if I would stop wasting time, I would probably have a lot more time back, and I don't need to use AI. I can build my family with a few clients, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Walmart killed small town businesses. I can only imagine what AI will do to them. It's it's so hard to tell, right? I mean, I live in a small town, and rural Minnesota, like everyone is a small business owner. Everyone and their mom, um, literally owns their own thing. So people here, I think, do try working with local companies. Um, and for me, that's what a lot of my focus is, right? Again, if I wanted to work with 100 clients, yeah, I would probably need AI to do my work for me. But I could also only work with, 5 clients, and that's enough. And then I can manage it all. Um, but I certainly know some of the small businesses here are struggling, um, especially in this economy. Rah, rah, rah. So I don't know. I mean, AI can't replace your plumber. AI can't replace the farmer. So I guess go into the trades. I don't know. I don't really know. But maybe by this week I'll have some more conversations and have some conclusions, and we'll see what news comes out next week, if that sheds light on anything. It's just it's an interesting time. Sorry, I don't have any brilliant insights. Just be responsible with your usage, I guess is the main takeaway right now. Just be responsible. It was which one? Anthropic AI did agree to a $1.5 billion settlement to compensate authors that they trained their AI on if you had copyright, etc., etc. There's lots of conditions in order to get that money, but point being, Anthropic is, you know, acknowledging that you can't just steal people's intellectual property and train computers to write. So Will that have repercussions? Will, we'll start recognizing authors and artists and the work that they do? But there's gonna be a lot of figuring things out over the next couple of years because people keep using it. Random things will keep happening, and privacy controls, mental health, all of these issues are going to continually be under discussion more and more and more. At the same time that we are still having conversations about general internet privacy, right? Just people like cookies and Google tracking, or what age people have to be in order to use. Yeah. So this is really just an ongoing conversation and an ongoing um, struggle for everyone. There's going to be continual legal ramifications, continual legal discussions. But for us Christians listening, I just encourage you to put humanity first. Just make sure that computers continue to serve us, not vice versa. God gave us uh, privileges, right? He made humanity a special type of creation to share in his creative. And computers are an outgrowth of that. The internet is an outgrowth of that. So make sure it maintains its place. But we continue to control it, and it doesn't tell us what to buy. It doesn't tell us what to eat. We work with other humans to make good choices. Not that it's easy to find good humans to make those good choices, but it's worth. So I guess that's my parting statement. There you go. I'll see you all next week. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the raid, Gaius. Yeah, I should go to sleep, Ross. You're right. I'll see you all. Hey.